Hello, how y'all doing? I'm going to talk to you today about Kirk Franklin and his son, Hypocrisy. Now, I saw the interview with Tamron Hall that Kirk Franklin and his wife did. I watched the whole interview. Now, it didn't come as a surprise to me that Kirk Franklin blamed his son for all that has gone wrong. That didn't come as a surprise to me. Now, Kirk Franklin mentioned rebellion, spirit of rebellion. I don't think Kirk Franklin really understands that term. A spirit, when a child in particular has a spirit of rebellion, they don't want to do anything the parents tell them. They don't want to do anything that society tells them. I mean, if a child has a spirit of rebellion, it means if you tell them to go A, they're going to go Z. If you tell them to do B, they're going to do F. Okay, they'll even obey the rules of society. I mean, if the sign says "do not litter," they're going to litter. Okay, children with a spirit of rebellion are truly rebellious. It's the same spirit that got Satan kicked out of heaven. Jesus said, these kind of spirits go not out, but by prayer and fasting. So I do not think that Kerrion has a spirit of rebellion, because I know what that's about. I've done some research on that. People with a spirit of rebellion, they don't function very well in society. They don't. It's hard for them to keep a job, etc., etc. But Kerrion seems to be functioning. He seems to have his own business of sorts. He seems to be clear-headed. I do not think he's rebellious. Now, in Appalachia, I'm from Appalachia, right? We don't continue arguing with children when they 17 or over. I mean, they consider men past 17. We don't continue arguing with them in their 20s and 30s. And, in Appalachia, a girl's a woman at 16. So the arguing is over. Okay? That's why they don't even understand why Kerrion is even having an argument with them. The argument is over once they become adult. In this country, it says 18. But the argument was over 17, 18. Okay? What I gather is that Kirk Franklin is trying to fit his round son in a square hole. Or he's trying to fit his square son in a round hole. In other words, he's trying to make his son something that he isn't. And I don't understand that. Why doesn't he just accept Kerrion just the way he is, lock, stock, and barrel? Why is he trying to make him into something he isn't? But see, Kirk Franklin is under an illusion too. He's a celebrity. He's won a Grammy. He's perfect. So everybody in his family should be perfect. Now, Kirk Franklin said that his son threatened to expose him years ago. Now, if one of mine said I'm going to expose the conversations we had, that is no threat to me. Because what I say to anybody, I'll say on social media. So that is no threat to me, but it was a threat to Kirk Franklin. Why was it a threat? Because evidently that's not the first encounter they have had. It was a threat to Kirk Franklin to be exposed on media. Evidently, that's not the first time that son has been cussed out. Okay, it's not the first time. How many times has it been cussed out? But like I said, Kerrion threatened to expose it to the world. It's a threat to Kirk Franklin. Why? Because it shows his hypocrisy. That he sings all these gospels, therefore he's a perfect Christian. He sings all these gospels, music, but see, at home he's another person. He's a cussing street tough. He's a cussing street thug. That's what Kerrion wanted to expose. That Kirk Franklin is two different people. Kerrion wants to expose the world who Kirk Franklin really is. But like I said, there are a lot of preachers, evangelists, pastors who are two people. They have a double life. They're into child molestation. They're into prostitution rings. They steal money. I mean, the list goes on and on. So Kirk Franklin would not be the first celebrity who's two people, who has a double life. There was a celebrity years ago. I forgot his name. This white man, he called his 13-year-old daughter a pig. I forgot what his name was. His wife was an Oscar winner, and he called his daughter, a 13-year-old daughter, a pig, for the world to hear. So the threat that Kerrion is talking about is to expose the world to Kirk Franklin's hypocrisy. That, you know, he sings the gospel by day, but at night, you know, when he gets home, he's a tyrant. He's trying to fit his square sun in a round hole, or his round sun in a square hole. He would not accept his son for who he is. If his son decides to become a pimp, that ain't Kirk Franklin's business. It's his son's life. It's not his. So, like I said, my solution is to go at least 5 years with no communication. And maybe I would say, if he was my son, I would say, look, the 30th of the month, you cannot have anything from Kirk but a 2-line, 2-sentence text. All phone calls have to be less than a minute. Or anybody from Kirk's family, you know, the daughters and the other children. The phone calls every 30th of the month can only be less than a minute. If it goes past a minute, call in. And that's it. You know, I will allow, if he was my son, I will allow 1 phone call per month. Less than a minute, 1 2-line text. That's it, per month. And then you will not talk to each other for the rest of the month. If you break that rule, then you forfeit any phone calls for the next 2 months. You know, sometimes people are so extreme, you have to put them on a schedule like that. Sometimes you got to do that. You know, because people are so extreme, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear them out. So sometimes it's necessary to put them on a schedule. But Kerrion needs to get his own family. He needs to get his own connections. If he's mad because Kirk Franklin and his wife did not invite him for Thanksgiving and Christmas, he needs to have his own Thanksgiving and Christmas party. He needs to have his own 4th of July barbecue. Okay? Create his own social friendship. Don't be so dependent upon Kirk's family. But I do believe that Kerrion needs to you know, establish his own connections, his own individual friends, his own family. I do believe that. But the one thing I don't understand is why Kirk Franklin wants to keep him 15 and will not accept that he's a grown man. I mean, after 17, 18, the therapy session should have ended. The argument is over. That's what I don't understand. The argument is over at 17. He got his own individuality after that. I don't even understand why Kirk's still arguing with him. You know why? Because Kirk is still trying to fit his round son in a square hole. He would not accept him as he is. He would not accept his manhood. And Kirk is caught up into this Hollywood perfection. He's a celebrity. He's perfect. He sings gospel. Duh. So why can't everybody in his family be perfect? Picture perfect. Why can't his son be picture perfect? And his son is not picture perfect. Okay? And so he's very upset about that. He would not accept his manhood. So I see it, frankly, as Kirk with the problem. More than his son. I see it, frankly, as Kirk. Kirk is supposed to be the parent. So he's supposed to take the high road. He's supposed to take the high road. And look, you know what? You got to keep negative people out of your life. And I guarantee you, all I do is text. It's rare that I talk to people one-on-one. It's rare that I talk to people over the phone. I text. Therefore, I can control the conversation. I don't allow negative energy in my life. Kerrion has to do that. Even if the person is the father. I have pulled the plug on relatives. Just unplug my phone. I mean, back in the day, when cell phones were kind of new, and my relatives would call me, I got tired of listening to them. So look, I just unplugged my phone. Peace all day long. Okay. Sometimes you got to do that. Call in. Unplug your phone. Have a nice day.